they come out clean.
Yo. Welcome back to a new episode of Birds in the Buckets. I'm Rashad Milligan, joined here by my co-host Malik Brown. Malik, how the heck are you doing today?
Man, living good, brother. Living good. Sunday, man. Can't be mad at no Sunday, man. Gotta love Sunday.
Can't be mad. Can't do that. What are we talking about? Man, we have two special guests, not one, but two special guests in the building tonight. Yeah, all the way from. I have no idea where these guys are currently right now, but like based out of Atlanta, Georgia. We have Mr. Pat Benson and Mr. Reggie Mickles. Fellas, how are you guys doing tonight?
Beautiful.
I'm doing great.
Amazing. Now, Pat, to finally get you on the pod, we've been trying to get you on for a little minute. Reggie has been on a couple times. First thing people want to know with you, Pat, is the game day fits.
Yeah.
The game day fits. You're gonna have to. Where's the origin of the game day fits for as a journalist? Because obviously everybody knows about the player game day fits,
exactly.
The league fits page and everything like that. Just give the backstory of the game day fits.
Yeah, for sure. So it started just with like sneakers, of course. Like I was wearing like all my different Kobe's, a couple different Jordans. And then I had a little bit of time to reflect around the All-Star break, and you'll notice like a sharp incline in my view, in my opinion. And I was like, you know what, I can do better than shoes. I need to put together a full fit. And it's still, I haven't hit my final form yet. I'm still a work in progress, but we're figuring it out.
I heard it. Rest in peace to the Mamba. Yeah. And you wrote an entire book on Kobe Bryant sneaker history, I guess. Yeah. To give you a chance to plug, because Pat said he can only be here about 15 minutes. So, Pat, I'm going to let you plug it right now. So, when in 15 minutes, we just talking about the Hawks. Go ahead, plug your book.
Oh, yeah, man. It's on Amazon. Kobe Bryant Sneaker History, 1996 to 2020. But that's it, man. I'm just here to assist. I'm here to set y'all up with some alley-oops.
We got a legend on, man. No lie.
Who just joined?
Somebody else to join?
Oh yeah. We have someone else that just joined, but we'll get to that in a minute.
I don't even want to look at it. I ain't gonna surprise
Pat, I wanted to ask you. Regular season just ended today. How was your first, just season covering the Hawks? The first official season covering the Hawks.
It was a dream, man. I loved it. Yeah, I loved every second of it. It was so cool, so much fun. And I'm a fan first, which obviously bleeds through in like my reporting and my tech and my tweets and my articles and everything. So it was a blast. It was a dream come true, and I don't have enough good things to say about the experience.
All right, and I rocked with it. There was one thing that you said that I had to address.
Let's hear it, man. We're all family here.
You came up at the end of the season. And you were in your bag, right? You were in your bag. You had it rolling, like you said, in the season. You got it going.
I know what you're talking about.
You're going on a roll.
Yeah.
So you say you know what I'm talking about. So you already know.
Yeah.
You said no one else is writing like this. I had to stop because look, the game, I get it. I haven't written anything in months.
Yeah. A lot of good writers out there. A lot of really talented people. I'm talking to a bunch of them right now.
I haven't written in a couple months now.
I
know when I'm active in the game, I know what I bring to the table.
You're a problem.
Pat, step it up. I mean, respond to that. But respond to all the folks that stand on your word then. Because I know when I'm in the game, I know what I bring to the game, but go ahead, Pat.
Two things. I'm going to address both those. The first, I'm going to get up. I'm always going to get up and scream and shout for myself, like just because life's too short. I'm going to just stand on the table and go crazy. So that's where I'm coming from. Just because I'm just like white trash from Chattanooga, Tennessee. So for me to even be here right now, I'm winning right now. And then second, I don't think people know how much I look up to Rashad Milligan for the longest time before he even knew who I was.
Don't do that.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not even kidding, man. Back when you were covering college sports, everything. You have a website and it's got YouTube videos. You're talking to Lonzo Ball and all these different players. I had that bookmarked when I was writing for Forbes. I mean, I straight up looked up to Rashad. So he's not kidding. When he's in the game, he's up there with the best writers. And Rashad's my guy. And just some 2009 Kobe versus LeBron MVP race stuff when both he and I are writing at the same time. It's all love.
Hey, 100%. Hey, I love it. I love it because like I said, I was like, oh man, this done lit a fire to me. And you need that. If you don't have that, if everybody's buddy all the time, ain't nobody gonna be good if you don't have the same content. And we gonna be content with mediocre coverage of the team because everybody is buddy. Everybody can't be buddy all the time. You can be cordial, like you said, like Pat said. When I see Pat, it's all love. Pat was good, blah blah blah. But like he said, when we step out of that conference and we all writing, we all trying to put out the best story. And if you don't think you're the best doing it, then you don't need to be doing it.
Exactly. No, I totally agree.
If you're scared, as Sports Jake ATL said.
Wait, what
do
you
say? Go to church if you're scared. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jake. No, that's exactly right. I agree with all that. And we would be doing each other a disservice if we didn't push each other. And, you know, we're former athletes. We're going to talk that shit too. So.
Salute to Trae Young, which you also written about of him speaking up when, you know, he felt like he didn't get the, you know, it's a joke we always make, you know, he always talks about, always remember the underdog, even though he's a 5-star, could go to any school, he's still the underdog. But Reggie, always remember, there they go, come on now. Reg, you got anything on this season, just anything from a personal standpoint? Last year, first time coming on the pod. Well, it's the first year we had the pod, but last season coming on the pod through like becoming a regular through this year. How do you reflect on this past season as well?
Well, first I want to say that between Pat and, you know, Chris Kirshner and Brad Rowland and Jamila, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some other dudes, but just in general, like all of you guys just do an awesome job just covering the Hawks. And I feel like the coverage for the Hawks is, to me, I think it's been better than ever. And I just want to get a shout out to all of you guys because I think all of you guys do a hell of a job covering the Hawks. And
thank you, man.
I love reading all of y'all stuff. So
appreciate that.
Rest in peace to Sekou Smith. The last great, I guess. How do I want to say this? Because, you know, salute to Sarah, salute to KL
Shinar. I forgot about
KL
for sure.
as always. And then, you know, salute to Malik too as well, getting his flowers for the coverage he's done over there with College Park.
Absolutely.
Only kid over there every single game, you know, because Jamila is halfway across the world half the time. So, you know, so salute to Malik or whatever for his coverage on College Park all year as well. Me, I haven't done nothing this season, so it is what it like. I get it. I was just saying when I saw Pat, I was like, I've been out the game too long.
That's it, man.
but anyway, so So salute to everybody and rest in peace, Sekou Smith. Probably the best to do it in my time alive. You know what I'm saying, of covering the team and stuff like that.
We should all strive to, you know, even scratch the surface and to get close to what he did.
Exactly, precisely. But I guess. Should we get to hoops now? The reason
now that we got the personal stuff out of the way,
before the play-in to hear a bunch of writers talking about right. So let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. Also, does our extra guest want to say something right now? Would that person like to reveal themselves right now? This is your chance.
Who is this?
Oh, hey. What y'all doing? What's going on? Hey, family.
Josh, what up, my boy? We got Josh Chig in the building. Chig, man, a.k.a. Cam Reddish is the president of the Atlanta Hawks, a.k.a. Cam Reddish is no longer the president of the Atlanta Hawks.
The Knicks, the New York Knickerbockers, man. Oh, man. Oh. Thank you. All right. What more can I say? You know, I'm just so many emotions in my brain right now. I feel like these upcoming games, Wednesday is the most crucial game. We need John Collins. We need everybody healthy, everybody. We need everybody. Hey.
Burn the boats.
Yeah.
I guess starting off with that, introduced it Wednesday night. The Atlanta Hawks will host the Charlotte Hornets in the NBA play-in tournament. You win, you play the loser of the 7-8, which is Cleveland versus Brooklyn. And if you lose it, then your season's done. Fellas, what do you guys see in the game? What are you thinking about the game? And I'll leave it at that.
Y'all want me to go? Or
Yeah.
Okay. I guess starting with Charlotte is interesting in that, the season series was 2-2, and both teams have obviously have had up and down seasons. And I think what's interesting with Charlotte is that, as weird as it may seem, Trae Young really hasn't gone off against them, in as much as maybe the average person might assume. Charlotte's done a pretty respectable job of kind of containing Trae. So I think that's something that I think people should keep an eye on, as far as can Trae finally have that big monster 37 point, 12 assists on high efficiency type of game against Charlotte. Because, Charlotte, they're not a good defensive team. And, they're flawed. They don't have a front court. So, I think in that realm, I think is interesting. That matchup's interesting in that, can Trae finally go off on Charlotte? And also, Charlotte has a lot of guys who can score the basketball, with Lonzo Ball not Lonzo, but LaMelo Ball and Miles Bridges and Terry Rozier. Can the Hawks, figure out a way to get enough stops against, Charlotte? And, they're at home. And, as inconsistent as this team has been all year, they're 19-3 over their last, 22 home games. So this team's been, the Hawks have been dominant at home. So, the Hawks should have the advantage against Charlotte.
No, I agree. Just building off what Reggie said, I think he summed it up really well. And then I'm really excited because obviously it's the first postseason matchup between Trae versus LaMelo. So that's going to be cool. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of those two battling in the playoffs over the next decade easily. So this is going to be the first installment of that. The Hornets play at a super fast pace, so going to be run and gun. And like Reggie said, the Hawks play well at home. So I'm going to take the Hawks in that matchup.
Yeah, I really can't. I guess I can't really say anything new that they'd already said. I mean, like Pat said, they're what 19. They've won the last 19 of their 22 home games. So of course they're pretty dominant there. I mean, it seems like Hornets and the Hawks have the same record. They tied this season. So it kind of just comes down to this. And like what Reggie said, it seems like the Hornets do a good job on Trae for the most part. I mean, I can even go back to last year, earlier in the season when it looked like they were doing a really good job on him. And I don't know if that was because they were doing a good job on him, or that was around the time when him and John and everything, and he was being real passive that game. So I can't really I don't know what that was, but for the most part, it seemed like they've done a good job. Like Pat said, they're running gun. They got a lot of athletes on that team. Of course, LaMelo, Miles Bridges. So I think it's gonna be a good game, but I'll definitely give it to the Hawks. Home court advantage. I'll definitely give it to them, and I think I'm gonna take Trae in a live or die situation. So.
I don't think it's such a sure thing as you guys are making it sound like. The Hawks have been kind of unreliable all season. They do step up in these type of games. So that's the good news. And they have been on the warmer side of things as of late, especially at home, like Reggie just mentioned. But still, it's like every time you expect these guys to do it and step up, that's when they do it. And then, the fourth quarter, they collapse. And it's like whether Trey was on the bench too long in the fourth quarter or whatever. I just don't think it's that sure of a thing. I do, if I had to pick, if you're like, pick one, I mean, I'm gonna pick the Hawks, just because they are at home, but I definitely don't think it's that, sure of a bet. Go ahead, Reg.
I understand. I understand this team's been up and down all year. And, like I said previously, like the Hornets have they've done a good job of defending Trae Young. Like even in the last game that, the Hawks played them, like they trapped them, they doubled them. Now also in that last game, Gallinari got hurt and he had to leave the game in the second half. But like they've doubled them. They've sent different coverages at Trae Young. And I think Trae Young in that game had it wasn't like his
13.
Yeah, 13, like his stat line wasn't pretty, in that game. So I think the one thing that I think if you're a Hawk fan, you want to hang your hat on is Trae Young doesn't play bad against the same team consecutive times. You will figure that at some point, Trae Young is gonna figure, his opponent out. So and make no mistake about it, Trae Young knows that the last time he played Charlotte, he played poorly against them. So in that matchup on Wednesday, whether the Hawks win or lose, I expect Trae Young to have a big game against the Hornets, a much better game than he had in the last matchup. So that's kind of I don't know if I'm not super confident the Hawks going to win that game, but I think Trae Young should have a big night against them.
Y'all haven't seen playoff TLC yet, though.
I don't think we are.
Yeah, but
I'll say this with TLC though, like TLC, he's played the last couple of weeks when he has played, he's been okay, he's been good.
He's an NBA player.
Way better than DeAndre Hunter.
He's been fine.
He's been adequate.
He's been fine. He's been fine. He's been fine and competent. So I don't.
Did he play today? He didn't play today, did he?
No, he
didn't
play. No.
He didn't. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah,
another thing.
If he don't play,
he did. Okay, I thought so.
He did. Okay,
I thought so. Because he missed a couple corner threes. But it's the thing that I'm worried about with the Hawks. Another thing is the arrogance, right? Because it's all season long, right? It was the playoffs, and now they're at the playoffs, and of course they're probably going to go into this thing thinking, "This is our time. We've been waiting. Flip the switch on, guys." And what if, Charlotte was in the play-in last year, they lost last year. This is their chance. If we get back to the play-in, it ain't no way. Boom, boom. We don't care who we playing. We don't care if we playing on the road. Boom, boom. We knocking that door down and we going in. That's Charlotte's mindset. Atlanta's mindset is we're the playoff kings of the East. And they didn't win a thing in the playoffs. They didn't win a thing. That's the point. That's the whole thing we're looking at in 2021, 2000. You didn't win anything. It's like the Suns dancing to the NBA. You didn't win. You lost. What are you dancing to Young Boy for? But okay.
You know what I want. You know what I want.
So I'm just looking at this, and that's one of the things I'm concerned about with the Hawks headed into this matchup. Are you going to take it too lightly? Are you going to come in a little too arrogant because you went to the Eastern Conference Finals last year and you're like, oh, we did it once, we'll do it again? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens on Wednesday.
So let's just hypothetically say they do win. I mean, I'm going to say that they play the Cavs on Friday.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think, y'all? Because we probably won't be back here until next Sunday. But But you know what are your?
I'm explaining.
Oh yeah, go
Okay.
ahead, Jack. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So the main thing, they have to contain Miles Bridges and Kelly Oubre if they're healthy. I know they don't have Gordon Hayward, but listen, the most dangerous threat is not the guards. Now, sure, Terry Rozier and LaMelo Ball are gonna get theirs, and a few other guards they have on this team, Martin guy, Cody Martin, or whatever. But I'm saying for the Hornets, I've done a lot of research. Miles Bridges plays the best against the Hawks and the Knicks. He's not playing the Knicks, he's gonna be playing the Hawks. So they have to stop Miles Bridges, and they have to stop Kelly Oubre. They need John Collins to defend Miles Bridges, or Clint Capella needs to go out to the perimeter and defend Miles Bridges and stop the other guys too.
I don't think John playing, Josh. I think
John has to get his butt off the bench and risk injury. He has to earn that contract, that big behind booty contract.
All right. So while Josh gets back on are you back? Well, all right. I'll let Malik go ahead with this. Okay. So I guess what Malik was talking about, we're not going to be back for another week. By that point, the Hawks season could very well be over. Going up to Cleveland on Friday, Jared Allen, they said he would be back, questionable for the postseason. I don't know if he would be back in the playing situation, but where do you guys see that game going?
The Hawks have had the Cavs number this year. Obviously, the Cavs have been taking on water the past month or so, but that's due to injuries. So who knows? Win or go home in Cleveland, it's 50-50, but I like my chances. I feel more confident about the Hawks playing the Cavs than I do about the Hawks playing the Hornets.
I agree with that. Reg.
Believe it or not, I'm the opposite. I feel comfortable. I feel more confident about the Hornets than I do the Cavs. And to me, the reason why is because the Hawks are not a good road team. Like if you look at like this hot streak that the Hawks have been on, over the last 2.5 months, they're 26-14, over the last 40 games, but they're 19 home.
Well, what is that? What is that, Mark Reg? What is that, Mark Reg? What happened in that 26-14? What happened? But
they're 19-3 at home. But if you look at their road,
what happened, Reg? What happened, Reg? With that 26-14 mark, what happened with the team then?
They turned their season around.
There was one thing. There was one thing the Hawks did. There was one thing the Hawks did, and since they made that thing, they've been 26-14. What was that thing, Reg?
No, we're not about to start doing this.
Like the Cam Reddish. You want to talk about Cam Reddish?
I don't want to talk. I just was asking. You said in the last 40 games they were 26-14. There was one thing that happened right before that 26-14 stretch. I just wanted to know. I was just asking.
That was
there. We go, Malik.
The catalyst was actually John Collins. John Collins was the catalyst. Whatever happened to John Collins, if he was injured, if he was hurt, to be honest, we won more games without John. Believe it or not, we won a lot of games without John Collins. But listen, all I'm saying is this. John Collins comes back. We need that defensive rebounding presence. That's all we need from him. Miles Bridges is a force under there. You have to stop Miles Bridges, period. I've seen him play the Hawks. He has 45 every night. I'm serious. They got to stop Miles. Or 35, no, I've heard.
That's I think that's more Onyeka than Clint for sure as
but
well.
My guy Carson's coming after you for what you said, Joshua, about John Collins losing games. Oh, yeah. My guy Carson's coming after you.
Which one?
I gotta look up his handle. It's just at Carson is his name on. He's a cool dude, but
he's always standing up for John.
I respect John Collins. I'm just saying that the Hawks players had started winning a lot more games without John.
Yeah, it's like Ja Morant in Memphis.
Yeah, Ja is he makes the team gooder because they're already good. The Memphis Grizzlies are already good. He makes the Memphis Grizzlies gooder.
As far as the John Collins thing, look, I will say regarding John Collins is that I think the Hawks roster is good enough to the point where they can survive without John Collins, but they're not better without John Collins. And like you look at some of the losses that they've had, like the Toronto game. Remember the Toronto game when the Hawks couldn't grab a rebound? Like they could have used John Collins in that game. And you look at the 2 Boston games in which Atlanta had big leads, and then they blew them because the offense couldn't go anywhere. Like they could have used John Collins in that game. So like, look, I know we love to bash John Collins, and I have my own opinions about John Collins, like as far as like where he's really good at and what he's not good at and all that stuff. But like, at the end of the day, like if this team wants to go far, if they, can even get out of the play-in, like they're gonna need John Collins if they want to like have a chance at like going far.
So side note, but to just interject, John Collins could literally win the Jason Collier and the Sekou Smith Award with the Hawks organization every single year. Amazing, dude. That's all I want to say about John. Totally. But go ahead, Josh. What's your counterpoint?
DeAndre Hunter. We all forget about Dre. We all forget about Dre. And Eminem says, stop moving clips and it comes out. but Dre, DeAndre Hunter, if he's having a 20-point, 25-point game, we're not losing in the playoffs, period. He's been playing terrible and we still been winning games because his defense is so great. DeAndre Hunter's defense is so great that you have to leave him out there because you have a mismatch with Danilo Gallinari or another guy who's trying to guard, DeAndre Hunter's position or the way DeAndre Hunter guards people. But the idea is if DeAndre can't score, if he's shooting badly, you can't leave him out there in the final 5 minutes. But you need him for defense. So you have to leave DeAndre Hunter out there to score and to defend. That's what you need.
Right. And Reg, you were talking about Cleveland as well. So I just wanted to get back to you on what you were about to say with Cleveland.
Yeah, with Cleveland, like I'm nervous that game in particular scares me because the Hawks, if you look when I mentioned the the 26-14 stretch, they're great at home. They're 19-3. But if you look at how they've been on the road over that stretch, they're 7-10. Like they're not a good road. Like the Hawks are not a good road team. And like in Cleveland, if they get past Charlotte, and and if Cleveland loses to Brooklyn like we all expect them to, that Cleveland crowd is going to be hyped for that game. And like, if you look at how the Hawks have been on the road, especially in a tight game,
is that sorry, Reggie, is that Cleveland's first? That would be Cleveland's first postseason game.
Yeah.
In Cleveland since like
27
without LeBron since what? Since what? Like
2018.
18,
17, 18.
No, I mean without LeBron James on the roster since 18, 22.
Oh, that's gonna be a long time.
Since the NASCAR dude.
What, Mark Price?
No, not Mark Price. The big that was on the team with Mark Price. First time since he was on. Dang, why is he the NASCAR dude? You guys know his name. Escaping me, the forward on that team. But that'll be the first time Cleveland has probably hosted a postseason game without LeBron James since the NASCAR dude was on the team.
I forgot his name, but
we all know who I'm talking about.
Mark Price?
Not Mark Price, the big on the team. Mark Price was the guard, and then they had a big. Who's the huh?
You talking about Jonas
Elo?
No, not Big Z. All right. I'll look it up myself. He's a NASCAR.
Okay.
All right, give me a second. Y'all talk.
I gotta discuss something. Will y'all look it up? I actually think Brooklyn might lose that game. Nah. You might think I'm crazy, but look, unless Kyrie is dropping like 40 and Kevin Durant is dropping like 50, because the rest of the team, besides Patty Mills, and they're not giving Blake Griffin minutes, they're not ready for the playoffs. I seen the team today. The Nets are not ready besides KD and Kyrie. And if they're not working, if the injury happens, the Nets actually might lose against the Cavs. Even if it's
Brad Daughtry is his name.
Brad Daughtry.
Continue, Josh.
Sound like a singer. So I got the Nets versus the Hawks. If it's the Nets versus the Hawks, I got the Hawks. Hey, hey, it's gonna be like a clean sweep. Hey, you got 2 games in Brooklyn. The way Brooklyn's been playing this year, they have not been great. They're not a 50-win team. So I got the Hawks beating the Nets and the Cavs, whichever one in the second game.
It's too bad Kyrie came back. Kevin Durant was playing so well without all that Kyrie gravity hanging on him.
I feel like they were moving in some type of direction, and then if they get past the play-in, then Ben Simmons comes back, and then But I mean, I think you have to think the realistic expectation is a 15-minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At a time, a game, and then they kind of work him into 30 at the end of the series, and I mean, but what is that going to do? I don't know. But I mean, defensively, I think that has a lot of value, but offensive, I don't know. It's just a lot of moving pieces here with Brooklyn. And I feel like they're being protected from a lot of the slander that the Lakers are getting right now because a lot of casuals and a lot of just people in general, before the season started, it was Lakers and Nets in the finals. Lakers and Nets. We ain't forget. And y'all giving the Lakers all this smoke and all these jokes and memes, but the Brooklyn Nets are holding. If it wasn't for having one of the greatest scorers in NBA history right there in the middle of it all, the Nets would be right there with them. So, I mean – I don't think I think there's a possibility they lose the play-in, but I just to see them lose twice, like you said, at home.
The Nets
tough.
losing the play-in would be like that would be epic.
This will be like the biggest because the Lakers are already one of the biggest like stories, like because this Lakers team was bigger than Nash, Ron Artest, Dwight Howard, and Kobe. We still made the playoffs, by the way, because of Dwight. Thank you, Dwight Howard. People don't give Dwight credit for that, but this year's was even bigger bust than that. They didn't make even the play-in, so you got that on the West. If you got this on the East the same year, this is the biggest. Like, I don't want to hear anybody say the NBA's fixed again after that. But that's just my 2 cents. I'm going on a tangent. Anything else with? I guess so everybody said their piece on Cleveland and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically what I'm saying, like with that Cleveland matchup with the Hawks is like I'm worried because I don't know, like I'm worried about how the Hawks will handle, being on the road, playing with poise. Because with Cleveland being at home, they're gonna go on a run. They're gonna feel confident with the crowd being behind them. The Evan Mobley's back. Now obviously they don't have Jared Allen, but Evan Mobley being there, like at least they have like a puncher's chance, So I'm in that matchup. I'm just fascinated to see how the Hawks, handle adversity, playing with poise, playing smart, because they haven't done that on the road for the most part.
Trey loves Cleveland. I think you probably pick them apart.
The Cavaliers haven't been to the playoffs without LeBron James since 1998.
Was that like
that's just
Fat Sean Kemp? Was that like Fat Sean Kemp era?
Let me see who was on this roster.
I think
Sean Kemp.
Was Terrell Brandon on that team? Terrell Brandon?
Derek Anderson, Scott Brooks. Wow, Scott Brooks. Danny Ferry. Wow, Danny Ferry. Big Z. Zatuna Zagowskis was on the team. Brevin Knight was on the team. Sean Kemp was on the team. Wesley Person was on the team. Bob Sir was on. Like all these guys went to the Hawks like 2 years after this.
Who was their leading scorer?
Let me see. That's a great question.
Bro, Danny Ferry was on that team?
Danny Ferry was on the team. Scott Brooks was on the team.
Scott Brooks.
The leading scorer was, it looks like Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp averaged 18 points per game that year.
Who had the best true shooting? No, I'm just playing.
We talking about PERs.
Shout out to salute to John Hollinger. But yeah, is there anything else on those guys? Oh, okay, all right. The last thing before Pat gets off, and then we can just continue rambling. Where do the Hawks go from here? In the 2002 NBA draft, what do the Hawks do? When you see the current coach and his kind of history with rookies, what do you do in the draft? Like, I'll just leave it open ended. You guys can go around.
Y'all brought up.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Y'all brought up the draft. Y'all brought up this current draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know, I've been telling a couple of people on Twitter this, so I'm gonna probably like break something. I'm gonna break something to y'all about this. If keep an eye on Portland and Sacramento in the lottery, and the reason I bring those two teams up because both Portland and Sacramento, they want to win now. Like Portland, they're committed to Damian Lillard. And if you're committed to Damian Lillard, you got to win now. You don't have to, you don't think about, playing, drafting kids just to, parrot Dame, because Dame wants to win. And same with Sacramento. They traded Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. Like, they want to win. So I bring those two up because if those teams get some lottery luck and they're in the top 3, it would not surprise me if Atlanta offered John Collins. Like, think about this. Would you offer John Collins to one of those two teams for a shot at a Chet Holmgren, a Jabari Smith, or Paolo Banchero?
They're not gonna play them, Reggie.
You got Jalen Johnson sitting right there, whole piece.
But I get that, but long term, like, the Hawks aren't gonna keep all these guys. Like Clint Capella, like, he's owed $20 million, and let's be real with Clint Capella. Like, one of the reasons why the Hawks have played better is because he's been healthier, and we've seen his true value. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong. See,
so you got same with Bogey. Like when the Hawks win these games, Bogey, he's having 20-point games. Like, he's
you're trading up. You're trading up into the top 3 for a draft and stash, a project that we'll see what happens 5 years down the line.
No, look at Toronto. They drafted Scotty Barnes. They got rid of Kyle Lowry. Everyone thought, Kyle Lowry, heart and soul. Toronto's not going to be good. And what's Toronto done this year? What's Scotty Barnes done this year? He started, but he's produced.
He had to start to produce.
Wouldn't the Hawks have to take on a lot of salary?
Well, Portland, no. But Portland has $30 million of cap space. So because they traded CJ McCollum, they got cap space.
Okay.
So you can trade John to them, and you'll have cap space.
Mm-hmm.
And with Sacramento, you'll probably have to take back Harrison Barnes, but Harrison Barnes has 1 year left on his deal, so that becomes expiring. But I bring up that idea because Atlanta, they're not gonna keep all these guys like John Collins, Clint Capella, Herter, Bogey. Trae Young, he's going to get a max deal. I think he's going to make all NBA, at least I hope. So his money's going to be on his money's going to be on the books. What's going to happen with DeAndre Hunter? Do you pay him or move him or whatever? So you got all these guys, and you're not going to pay everyone, and you're risking, having a roster it might not be do you guys see this team, moving forward, being a real title contender in 2 years?
No.
I don't know, especially with all these guys you have to pay.
So take the season now. So we take it now.
I'm not saying tank. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying tank. I'm not saying blow it up and rebuild.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is maybe you balance your books out a little bit. Keep your depth. Have a little flexibility and try to win and kind of straddle the fence a little bit.
No, I'll see what you're saying.
And also, if you took a chance on somebody, Chet Holmgren or Jabari Smith or Paolo Banchero, maybe you have one of those, maybe those guys, brings you a ceiling raiser type of player.
Well, what about Ivy?
Well, maybe him. Maybe him. But like, if the Hawks, in my scenario, if they move John Collins, theoretically, I would assume that maybe you would replace him with like a power forward. You know what I mean? And all of those guys like have like intriguing skill sets that fit with Trey.
No.
And while all three having like star upside, because the topic on Twitter, everyone on Twitter is talking about, the Hawks need a second star. The Hawks need, Donovan Mitchell or Zion. But like, if we're being honest, like, are we sure a Zion or Donovan Mitchell is going to be available? And even if they are available, like, do you really want the Hawks to take a chance on a Zion Williamson with his health issues?
Don't. I was about to say. I think a lot of people have forgotten how good Zion Williamson is at basketball this year just because he hasn't played.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are really underestimating Zion. Like, this kid was an all-star his second season.
Right.
30 pounds overweight. Like, he's different.
Why do you say that 30 pounds?
I mean, because just imagine if he was in shape, what do you be doing? Like, Zion's different, man.
No, I feel you. I'll give you my take before I hop off. I think they're going to I don't know who they're going to draft. I didn't watch any college basketball this year, but I think they're going to need rookie contracts to fill out their roster because they're going to be flirting with the luxury tax. And Nate already plays a 6-man rotation damn near. So they're just going to get some rookies and just fill out the bench. And, they'll get a lot of burn with in College Park. But, I think they're just going to use them to help fill out the roster.
Yeah, Reg talked about P from Duke, and I thought it was very interesting. What if there was a 6'9" forward that went to Duke, was projected to go top 5? I don't know. Maybe he's like very young, athletic, kind of a lot like John Collins. I don't know. I mean, he might be around. I don't know.
Yeah.
With the same first initial as John, J. We'll see what happens with that. Maybe the Hawks just trade up and get another one of those guys and see what happens.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying it's definite, but John Collins has been in trade rumors. Like,
I hear the premise, and it makes sense, especially when you compare it to Toronto, what Toronto did with Scotty Barnes. They were already a consistent, decent team, had a down year last year, top 5 pick. All right, Lowry, you've been in trade rumors. You could go ahead and walk to Miami like you've been playing in the past couple of years anyway. And then we'll just get this guy, rebuild, and they're back in 5th seed, right where they were right when Kawhi left. So I mean, Pat, wait, hold on. I'll let Pat get off. Pat is getting off. It is midnight 30.
Thank you, Pat.
Pat, we appreciate you stopping by so much, man, making your debut. Salute to you. Say your little parting words. Where can people find you? All that good stuff.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me. This is without a doubt the most fun podcast I've ever been on. Please invite me back on. I'm inviting myself, which I know is rude. So I'm inviting myself back on. So we'll talk more about it in the future. Hopefully we'll even record before midnight. Who knows? But man, y'all just keep doing what y'all are doing. I meant what I said. I'm a big fan of yours, Rashad and Malik, everybody in here. But until then, better lace them up tight if you're going to be riding on this here internet. No, I'm just playing. Y'all have a good one. I'll catch y'all later.
Hey, Pat,
See you, Pat. Thank you, Pat.
All right,
Thank
peace.
Appreciate it, Pat.
See you, man.
But can continue, Reg. Josh wanted to say something? Josh, go ahead, Josh.
Oh, I was just saying later to my brother.
Okay. All right, go. Continue, Reg.
But back to that, like, traits, and I'm not saying it's like definite that the Hawks, should, like, will do that, but like with John Collins being in trade rumors, like, and there was a report like around the trade deadline, like from I think it was Jake Fisher from Bleacher Report, he was talking about how like Atlanta was looking for a valuable first round pick and a starter. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if a scenario like that, wasn't, crept up in Travis Lank's mind, like something that he would consider. So, like, there might be other ideas, but I just think something like that is something that's like intriguing. Like, and for the Hawks, like moving forward, like you have to consider all options. What's the best option to position this team to eventually win a championship? It might not be next year. It might not be in 2 years, but maybe like 3, 4, 5 years down the road. Atlanta should be positioning themselves to, what can this team do to eventually get themselves to win a championship? And there's a chance that like this current group might not be good enough.
Well, Reg, what do you think about Coop?
Sharif Cooper? I like him. Like, look, he obviously, I wish he could have played more, but
do you think he could be that backup point guard that the Hawks need? Is the question I'm getting to.
I do. I do. I think with Lou Williams, like I expect Lou Williams to be gone. He probably will retire, and we've seen guards, year in and year out, come out of nowhere and make their name. Like you look at that kid, Jose Alvarado from the Pelicans. Like you watch a Pelican game, and that kid is making a huge difference as a backup point guard, and he's a rookie. And shout out to Willie Green for playing, his rookies, and for that team to, battle all the way back and be a playing team after their bad start. So
not having Zion.
Yeah, without having Zion. So like looking at that, I can see, Sharif Cooper coming in, if he works hard, which I believe he is, and I think he has a good head on his shoulders. I think he's going to have an opportunity.
And I think he has a higher ceiling. All due respect to BG or Brandon Goodwin, but I think he has a higher ceiling than Brandon Goodwin in the league.
And keep this in mind with and this is Dennis Schroeder. Like, we hear all this talk about Nate not playing, Jalen Johnson and Sharif Cooper, and trust me, like I wish those two could have played more. And quite frank, especially with Jalen Johnson, like I think the moment John Collins got hurt, he should have played more. But if you remember Bud's first year, with Dennis Schroeder and Jeff Teague, Dennis Schroeder didn't play much. And
he didn't play at all.
Yeah, and when he did play, he was terrible. And what happened the second year? He got summer league, off season, and all of a sudden, second year came and boom, he like flashed and he started playing more. Now he didn't ultimately Dennis didn't become, to start a high level, starter that we all hope he would be. But like from his first year to his second and third year, like he went from awful to, very, very good, high level bench guy, low level starter guy. And I think that's a path for.
Well, but the team was also good. And I think that's what Nate was expecting this year. And it just didn't happen. And I feel like that's kind of the difference. It's like when the team wasn't performing as well as you thought, I thought that's when you should make the adjustment of, okay, I can't sit these guys anymore. I got to, switch it up. And he did that at the end of the season with Jalen after it felt like it happened after Chris Kirshner put out the article and said, and Nate quoted Nate saying he was a mini LeBron. That's when he started playing. But, I mean, I feel like if he would have made that adjustment, I don't know. And then people talk about the in-game adjustments with the substitutions and, sticking to the game plan, and maybe the game plan ain't working right now. Audible, there's a lot of things. But I think that's the difference between like what we saw with Teague and Schroeder of them not playing as rookies. Like Bud didn't play rookies. Did Larry Drew play? I can't remember Larry Drew's.
Wait, yeah. I think I remember the first year. I think it was the first year Mike Woodson was there. Teague didn't play. He didn't play much, and then the second year,
Mike Woodson was there in 2009?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Okay. Yeah,
I know.
because what was that? He shaved his head
Yep.
and he bumped Jason Kidd bumped into him.
Yep.
Okay. That was 2010. I remember that.
Yeah.
See, we going Reg and I. See, that's why I like having Reg on here because Reg and I we could go back like that. But yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Woodson didn't play T, and Bud didn't play shooter their rookie years. But the Hawks were good. Like they were you didn't have to worry about the Hawks. Like the only thing you had to worry about the Hawks were they going to get past LeBron or win a road game in the playoffs. Like you didn't have to worry about they're going to be good enough. Like this year, they were supposed to be on that. Okay, we don't even have to worry if they're going to make the playoffs. And here we are. Are the Hawks going to make the playoffs? So I don't know. I think that threw everything off this season.
Yeah, definitely. But
Josh, any words about the rookies? Oh, go ahead, Reg, if you want to continue.
I was just saying, like, I think there's a path for both Jalen Johnson and Sharif Cooper to get real minutes next year. I really do. Like, I think this year, considering, I think, the high expectations, the pressure of trying to get to the playoffs is why, like, neither one of them played. But, like, I think next year there's going to, I don't think Gallo's going to be here next year. So with him being likely gone, probably, there's a spot open for a guy like Jalen Johnson to, compete for minutes. Lou Williams isn't going to be here. So there's a, spot for, Sharif Cooper to get minutes. So I still have hope for both guys to, prove themselves next year. I really do.
Josh, any word on the rookies?
I think Jalen Johnson legitimately needs more minutes. I think earlier on, I saw him get some flashes, good games against Pistons. A few other teams as well, like in these final games. I feel like Jalen Johnson would be a big help for us in the play-in and the playoffs.
I don't think he's getting a minute in this week.
Oh yeah, and Sharif, I think. With Sharif and John, their chemistry, Sharif and Jalen kind of reminds me of that Trey, John Collins vibes, but in a kind of sense where, if it really didn't work out with Trey and John, like I'm serious, like those two could probably take over the Hawks. What I'm saying, Trey is like a phenomenal, sensational. It's more like Dame and Alperini Simmons a little bit.
I hear what you're saying. As opposed to Dame and CJ. I got you. Okay, Malik, what are your thoughts on the rookies? Malik.
You lost them?
Yeah. Malik froze up on us right when it was time. See, but I guess speaking about the rookies. Just kind of filibustering. There we go. All right. Malik, what is your thought on the rookies?
As soon as I was about to talk, bro, they just cut off, man.
That's what I said. Man. Nothing but the devil.
But nah, I think everybody said a lot of good things. As far as them next year, though, depending on what the Hawks do, the way Sharif's contract set up, I think he's like a restricted free agent next year. Well, this offseason. So it's really up. I don't know if anybody else would be willing to sign him, but at the same time, it's like how much are the Hawks willing to pay for.
Hello?
Yep. I was about to say now my Wi-Fi is cut off, but
dude. All right, signing in Publix.
All right, am I back?
Oh, you're back. Josh is now in Publix. Updated what you missed.
Instacart shoppers, showstoppers. What you do?
All right, Malik. Go ahead, Malik.
But yeah, depending on what they do at backup point guard next year, I don't know what the Lon Wright's contract is off the top of my head. I don't know if he's a free agent going into this season or not, but It
Oh,
really depends on what the backup is.
oh,
Yeah, I like the line. I like the line.
he's been really good. Like I'm really impressed with
Yeah,
him. Like his
and it's
deep,
crazy.
he's the best, but he's the best perimeter defender on the team. Like the way he just deflects passes, gets steals. Like he's a defensive playmaker.
And
And his,
if you really think about it, Nate was about to take him out the lineup until John got hurt.
which is insane.
I'm free agent. I'm restricted free agent.
Oh dang! So this is last. Oh wow.
I'll hope they figure out a way to keep him.
How do you feel about Skylar? Do you think Skylar stays in the picture? Or, I mean, I think the inevitable is like Skylar, goes on and joins a couple other teams throughout his career. But do you think Skylar hangs on for a couple more seasons with the Hawks?
If I had to guess, probably not. Just because, like, Bogey, Herder, depending on what happens with DeLon Wright, like, and especially with Bogey and Herder, like they're both kind of like the same guy. And with Skylar, like they're all like the same guy. They're offense first players. You know what I mean? Guys who can, create a little bit, shoot the ball, not great defensively. So it feels like if they kept Skylar, it'd be too much of a logjam. So I could see them letting them go.
So you think Wright stays?
I hope he does. If I'm Travis Schlenk, I'll figure out a way to keep him somehow. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with DeLon Wright.
I think
I don't.
Just go. Yeah, I'm looking at it like he's like a veteran and he's kind of taking up space from the youngins. But I know how valuable he is, especially defensively.
Yeah.
So, it's just like, but I feel like he's just in the way. It's like you got these young guys, and it's like, but we got to play DeLon Wright because he's better today. And it's the young guys will never go ahead.
But this is why I bring up the John Collins like scenario, that the trade scenario for a top pick that I brought up earlier. Like in that scenario, if you can trade John, and look, I know Hawk fans love John Collins, and I know that Hawk fans listening to this think I'm crazy for suggesting this, and I get it, and I respect it. But like in that scenario, in my scenario, if you can trade John Collins to get cap space, maybe like you might have more salary cap space to keep a DeLon Wright, or sign, somebody else, while, drafting, theoretically, whether it's Jabari Smith or Paolo or Holmgren or whatever, whereas like right now, like, with all of these guys being paid, Atlanta's going to have this, they're going to have to make some tough decisions. Some of these guys might get traded, for, a draft pick or a futures consolidation trade. So, all of this is gonna be interesting because Atlanta, they're gonna have some not so easy decisions to make. If not this offseason, definitely the next offseason.
Looking past the potential play-in, if they get to the playoffs as an AFC, Victor Oladipo had 40 points tonight.
Oh, party ball!
What?
Party
Hold
ball.
on. What? What happened?
Victor Oladipo had 40 points tonight.
Oh God!
Like,
Did they win?
Oh snap!
And that's a guy who doesn't even play on the team. Like he didn't even play at this. So it's like
raise that value bit there.
They lost.
Okay. What's
Magic
the score?
won 125, 111, and Oladipo had 40 and 10 and 7.
What did he shoot from the field?
Let me see. Let me check all of that. That
I think
man,
it's 13 from
40
22.
in Orlando. He's like, I still run this place. I still run him like. What did you say, Malik?
13 to 22.
Yeah, 13 to 22. 5 of 11 from 3.
He's might be back.
Yeah. And hold on. Let me see the starting lineup. They didn't play anybody else. They played Duncan Robinson. That was it.
Wow. Might check out the YouTube highlights on that one.
Yeah, so it looks like if the Hawks face them in the first round,
I don't
no
know if he's gonna
chance.
play. I don't know if he's
I
gonna
don't.
get. I don't. I
Yeah,
still don't, like if you look at the last game, like he didn't play at all against
Right,
I,
right,
DC.
I
right.
think.
But
Yeah,
now we
I
know he
don't.
can
I
drop
don't think he'll
40.
play either.
I mean, now we know he can drop 40. So Victor's going to be in the rotation. I'm saying with Victor, just want to know if he's healthy. But I still feel like with Miami and the Hawks, they're very evenly matched. You know, their game they had in Miami recently, we had no John Collins. So all I'm saying is I like our chances. I like the Hawks'
Josh,
chances. You know, in a
can you do
seven-game
something
series,
for me?
hey, yeah.
I need you to stream to public. Subscribe to Birds in the Bucket right now for the culture.
No. Really? Okay, I got you. But all I'm saying is I trust the Hawks to win in a 7-game series against Miami Heat. That's all I trust. They're dysfunctional in Miami. They had like coach fights and all that stuff. You know, Spoelstra, I mean, hey, he has a lot of fights with Jimmy this year, so it is what it is.
Question. I got a question for y'all, and it kind of brought me to what Reggie's talking about. You know, about saving cap space and everything like that. It's kind of like we got to think about what does Trey want? Does Trey want a second star, or does Trey want a bunch of role players around him?
I think Trey thinking like LeBron, because Trey thinks he's LeBron. So it's like,
You know what I think. As far to me, I've thought about this. I really believe, and one of the reasons why I brought up that John Collins idea, I think Trey Young's second star needs to be a big man. Like I don't know if a wing can. I don't know if any wing. Maybe if it's a wing that has to be with Trey, it has to be like an elite shooter. It can't be a guy who just wants the ball and just wants to pound the ball and just dominate the ball. It can't be a high usage guy. Like, because Trey Young's gonna because if you're playing with Trey, he's gonna have the ball because that's just who Trey is. Like, he's a high usage. He's gonna dribble around. He's gonna go run pick and roll, and he's the borderline best in the league at it. Like Trey Young is an elite. He's elite at what he does. But if you have a big man next to him, he's a guy. Trey Young can feed him. He can throw lobs to him. He can pick and pop with him. Like if you look at what Gallinari's done, like to me, I feel like and I've tweeted this. I feel like the ideal like second star would be like someone like a Gallinari, except you wish Gallinari was like 10 years younger than he is, and he was a better defender. Like someone that has like a Gallinari-esque like skill set, is like someone who can shoot the ball, who can, score on the post a little bit, who can, attack a mismatch, can create his own shot, can put the ball on the floor. Like that's the type of guy the type of ideal guy that I would love to see, the Hawks get.
no, I agree. I think that'd be nice as well. How many of those guys are out there in just
I
the
get
middle?
it. I get it. I get it.
Nobody's available.
I mean, like
it.
it fits that
get it.
description because
But-
you'll think of all the available guys. They're all the guards.
Hey,
and stuff.
but that's
I
a
mean,
great
Zion
point.
is kind of like the closest thing. Go ahead,
But
Josh.
hey, he already said that in Gallinari. The thing about youth, whatever you think, look at Dirk Nowitzki when he won the championship. Like the experience that Danilo Gallinari has acquired, there's a lot of finesse. He might not have it all the time, but he even has the athleticism. He has the pass to the. I mean, what else can I say with Danilo Gallinari that hasn't already been said? Like he's the second most important player for the Hawks this season. Make no mistake about it.
I don't know. I won't go that far. I won't go that far.
Yeah, second.
I won't go that. But with Gallo, like,
What you talking
I
about?
won't go that far. What? Y'all can hear me?
No, I can hear you. I can hear you.
But if Gallinari was like 10 years younger, and if he could like move a little more on defense. You know, like
he's never been a great defender.
I know, he's better 10. He would be better 10 years ago than he is now. You know what I mean?
It's hard because you're right, but also European players, I'm not gonna say they don't focus on defense like that, but they can. You know, if they're more younger, it's probably easier to move lateral. But I'm not always there.
That's true. That's true. But like,
hey, are we just gonna let Josh compare Danilo Gallinari to one of the greatest players ever?
No.
Salute to Dirk Nowitzki, man. Let's throw a little more respect on Dirk Nowitzki's name, man. Dirk Nowitzki, before he got old and moved like this, was Dirk Nowitzki, one of the greatest. He changed. He was before there was Joel Embiid, before there was Karl Anthony Towns, who claims he's the greatest shooting big man ever. There was Dirk Nowitzki. And it was something the game has never seen.
You're right. It was disrespectful. Well, listen, Danilo Gallinari is nearly a career 20-point scorer. It's more than just a little bit of scoring. If you look at his whole career, you see all he's really missing the championship. And listen, no outside.
That's like the difference between Jamal Crawford and Kobe Bryant. Jamal Crawford averaged close to 20 points per game a couple seasons. Is he anywhere near Kobe? No.
I'll say this: talent-wise, yes, but branding-wise, no. Jamal didn't brand himself well. But if you looked at his talent, it speaks for itself. He can give you 50 points coming off the bench. So I'm not going to deny Jamal's talent, but his branding wasn't on point. Your branding got to be on point for the league. But all I'm saying is, for Danilo Gallinari, the host, oh, crap. And be like, Danilo Gallinari got all that? He can give you 40 points a game? What? So I really feel like if they leave him open, he's going to make that shot. He's been making some crazy shots. That's all I know. He's been crazy this year. Second most important behind Trey. You got to watch the games. Danilo's been insane this year. And then Bogey's been the third one.
I like this segment from Josh. This is the segment where I just laugh. Like, I like this from you, Josh. I like this segment from you. The delusional, but you believe it. I love it. I love it.
10 years from now, we're all going to be like, man, Josh said that. What?
It's going to be like the greatest European players to ever live. Dirk Nowitzki, Luka Doncic, Danilo Gallinari. But I guess, is there anything else that we want to tackle before we kind of, I guess, just wait and transition out of here for the week?
Well, I mean, I guess, like, to my original point, like, I feel like we talk about, like, Trae Young. Does he need a star? Does he want role players? For me, I feel like long term, like, I think for me, I would like to see, Trae Young, I would like to see his ideal star to be like a big. Like, I feel like he's at his best when he's playing with bigs. And I feel like if you surrounded him with, a wing, like, I don't know if any specific wing would be ideal next to Trae, considering how well Trae Young plays. And I guess, that's kind of that's my original point.
I respect that. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I mean, it's kind of who's out there right now. I mean, I feel like before this season, it was Cat. Like, everybody was saying Cat, but the Timberwolves doing good right now, so he ain't going nowhere.
He's hugging Ant-Man like
he's going nowhere.
And to me, my top two guys before the year started was Cat and Jaylen Brown. Like, I feel like Jaylen Brown is a guy, like, he's one of the rare wings. Like, he doesn't need the ball. Like, he can play off the ball. He can shoot.
Yeah.
Can slash. He's like a more athletic, better version of what we hope DeAndre Hunter can become. Like what we hope DeAndre Hunter is, Jaylen Brown already is. So, like, if you can, like, if the Hawks could have figured out a way to get like a Jaylen Brown or a Cat, like, sign me up. But like what Malik said, like, with how Minnesota's been doing this year, like, Cat's not going to be available.
It was just funny because, like, before the season, like last summer, it was like, Cat is available, And then
Yep.
Anthony Edwards, and once his contract runs out, he wants to really come back home and play for the Hawks. And nah, those guys are in love now. Like
Yeah.
Ant and
Like
Cat
those
are like
them teams are winning. So now it's like, maybe Zion, but I don't like I think the Pelicans might keep Zion. And if I'm Zion, like if the Pelicans offer me, money, a big contract, like I'm not turning that down, but consider my injury history. So like there's that. And we'll see with Donovan Mitchell. But for me personally, with that, like I'm kind of on Mitchell with Trey being a fit, especially defensively. So I don't know
just
about
don't
that.
know if it does much. Like if anything, it'll be like the kind of the DeRozan, Zach LaVine thing, where it's like for a long time they're just gonna outscore a lot of teams, and people are gonna be like, "Wow, this is so entertaining to watch." And then in the long call, is it gonna really last? Like, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think offensively that pairing would work, but like, who are you gonna stop? Like the thing with Donovan Mitchell that people don't recognize, he's 6'1". And I know he has a long wingspan, but like anyone who watches Utah Jazz games, like they're not a good perimeter defensive team. And Donovan Mitchell's like a part of that, you know? So like he doesn't improve your defense, and he's $30+ million. He's on a max deal. So like, and quite frankly for me, like I think Bogey's really good. I think he's underrated by Hawks Twitter. Like, if I'm Atlanta, like, unless I can get back a Carl Towns or Jaylen Brown, like,
Bogey is like the common denominator in both of these things. Of like I said, I forgot that the exact mark after Cam was traded, and what was it like? What in 14? But anyways, after Cam was traded and after Lloyd Pierce was fired, the common denominator is Bogey got hot. Like so. I mean, I think the reason you say like he's underrated or undervalued, slept on, is because when Bogey's bad or when he's off, he's really off. But when he's on, he's really on. Like Bogey is on right now. But at the beginning of the season, for a long time, he wasn't. And I think that's where you get the people kind of look at that and they'll look at someone like a star and in the backcourt like a Donovan Mitchell, and it's a more of a sure thing than with Bogey or even Kevin Huerter. Because Kev, we already know what he does too when he gets hot.
Yeah, like Bogey and Clint Capella. Like, if you want to look at why the reason the Hawks turned their season around to the point where like they have a winning record now, is because
Cam was out the locker room.
But like Clint Capella and Bogey got healthier and started playing better. Like those are the two common denominators. Like Clint Capella and Bogey, those two, they got healthy and started playing better, and you see their value to the team.
Malik, any closing thoughts?
Nah, look, it's gonna be just a big week. That's all I can say. Big week, man. Big week.
This episode next week could be too big. We could be previewing an entire playoff series, or we could be looking at NBA mock drafts online. So we shall see.
Hey, we already locked in. B said he coming on next week.
B said he all right. So B's coming back next week. I just reached out to Miss D. I don't think she's gonna. That's where I saw. That's where I saw Oladipo had 40. I was on Miss D's page, and I went to DM her. But yeah, we'll see who comes on next week. Josh, are there any closing thoughts from you for the week?
Oh yeah, I just want to say, the same sentiments about Danilo. Danilo Gallinari's averages. I mean, sometimes he's been averaging right.
God.
Look, you have to go back, look at Danilo Gallinari's stats the first 3 months, and then probably from January on, like February on, he played some of the best basketball of his career. All I'm saying.
So salute to Danilo, man. Hey.
Danilo Gallinari, the legend.
Yeah, the Italian great one. Yeah, he's advocating for donating stuff to Ukraine, whether or not they like blacks over there. We're all black on here, so that's a whole nother story. But salute to Danilo for raising funds and everything and resources for the people of Ukraine while their countries and homeland is being attacked. With that being said, fellas, if you go around and shout out your socials or plug whatever you want to plug before we get out of here this week.
Reggie's World, REGGIES_world, WORLD, and you can follow me on Twitter.
Twitter and Instagram _Malik ATL as always, subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited.
It's my turn, yeah. Joshua Chig, JC Mira, the author, same guy. And enjoy the night. Just look me up, read some of my books, check out some of my videos, also known by JC's Scatterbrain Thoughts. Very long, but all right, y'all. Peace.
All right, Jay Chig.
All right, man.
Y'all make sure y'all check out his YouTube. Like he said, JC Scatterbrain Thoughts or Scatter's Thoughts. He has skits on there. He has a series going on over there. A bunch of stuff and everything. He's got devotional over there. Anything you need. And, of course, some Hawks talk every now and again. So, salute to JC. Appreciate you coming on as always. Reg, appreciate you as always coming on. Hey, always. Atlanta Sports Unlimited, man. Code ASU on Prize Picks. Go to Prize Picks right now. All that good stuff. Womp 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 womp.
And if they come out clean.